sun is moving towards us on the stationary plane that the Earth is. The tide is coming in and up. The beach renourishment team is mostly assembled here, and there are some ships in transit on their way to pump sand up on the beach through a 30-inch pipeline that delivers about the equivalent of 1,500 dump truck loads per 45 minutes. That's just the sand. 60% more volume from that is the water, the ocean, that is used as the delivery mechanism, the highway, so to speak, to cause the sand to flow up here. That's the Cherry Grove Pier right in the view, and the submerged pipeline. We're expecting about 20 million guests here this year in the Myrtle Beach area. This is technically Cherry Grove, North Myrtle Beach. Donald just arrived. He's one of the typically operates during the day, light hours, and he lives local here in North Carolina. Operates one of the diesel electric cats. According to Job 37, the sun is in the midst of the clouds. It is truly amazing to watch the sun and the moon. And the creation, the people that come out to enjoy the sunrises. That is the Prince Resort, right there in the middle of the view. Where the sun and the moon appear and vanish on the horizon, based on a fixed point, changes radically through the seasons and the phases of the moon. They actually cause the seasons, the sun and the moon, the path that they travel, and then the stars let us know the times of year. The pole star stays fixed in the middle. In the winter, the sun comes up way over here, obviously today over here. It'll drift a little bit further to the left. It's running a circuit over the stationary Earth, just to be clear. The stationary Earth, mostly flat, is a biblical creation. That's what I'm talking about here. I'm a biblical creationist unapologetically, no matter how many of the actual conspiracies you're able to figure out. The reality of the need to be born again and to make sure that that's happened for you is really important. I thought I was born again over 35 years ago until I actually was 3.5 years ago, or 4.5 years ago, I'm sorry, on Reformation Day. What I wanted to mention with all that is I encourage people to seek the truth with all of your heart. Very important. Because I believe it's biblical, and it's the reality that it's only by God's grace anybody can love and believe the truth, let alone find it. Artificial intelligence is a powerful resource, and it is utilized in the battle that we're in right now for the hearts, souls, and minds of humanity. AI, artificial intelligence, actually lies, okay, and creates deception. Very powerful deception, and also choreographs and disseminates information through who it desires to. Now, with the backdrop of all that, actually in the foreground, God is in control of everything. He's sovereign. It means He's in charge. He's all-powerful, and He is also all-knowing. omniscient and omnipotent. Very important to realize that. So there's nothing in this world that's going to happen that God doesn't directly cause or allow. I've elaborated on this in quite some detail, and I will continue to. Right now it's spring break and bike week, so we've got people that are here from all over the world. That's a very typical reality. I wanted to show you what I've got set up here, just so that you know, I'll be wearing the boots and the water is going to keep coming in for another hour. So it's going to, the high tide line is in the middle of the view. We can see it where the sea foam was. The reason why this is so important to change the elevation of the beach to add some sand to it is simply because, well, it gets washed away with the storms. Good morning. Our day-to-day observations actually, I believe, indicate the impossibility of the globe. We notice the sun and the moon and the stars moving. There's nothing about this that gives me the sensation that it would be even possible for me to be spinning, wobbling, and of course gyrating. None of that is happening. The movement of the earth has never been proven because it doesn't occur. That's the fact. Whether you like it and or believe it or not. Feel free to hashtag my name. Send Google a powerful message. The truth is being censored, just so you know. And like I said, it's being disseminated through unlikely candidates like yours truly. I'm an investigative journalist. I found some powerful documentaries, professionally assembled, narrated, edited, to help you to see the reality of this. Remember, AI lies, and it's not necessarily people friendly. So Satan is an opportunist. He will use who and what he can, and God will use it all. The God who created this world. Now, Jesus says that Satan is the prince of this world, the god of this world. He created it in the sense of a false reality. The materialism, the sex, drugs, rock and roll, the decadent, do your own thing. Did God really say? He's a deceiver. Satan is. And God will use him. Now, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 says repeatedly to everybody, forever. everybody and everything, they refuse to love the truth and so be saved. For this reason, God sends them a powerful delusion. That's the reality of that. An important dynamic to keep in mind, that no matter how hard I try, I'm not going to be able to convince somebody of the truth if God is causing them to believe the lie they apparently want to believe. So one of the statements I've been heard saying millions of times is, do you feel yourself spinning, wobbling, or gyrating? On the HBO clip at the first conference and at the first Flat Earth conference. And that soundbite's gone out quite a bit, upwards of 30 million times, that particular clip, and then I've said it as well. I was saying it before the conference. It wasn't a first time run on that. Also, we don't have toilet water flying out on people in Australia because of gravity. Well, hello, it's just water seeking its level. Water seeks level. There would be no level, true level, or plumb, vertical, if the Earth were moving in the multiple directions that the heliocentric, Helios, the sun-worshipping religion, that is a godless cosmic Big Bang. The Jesuits, the Catholics were involved in developing this godless cosmic Big Bang. The Catholics are not Christians, just so you know. You can research it if you want to. World's Last Chance, WLC, created a documentary to expose the Jesuit involvement, the Catholic involvement in this deception. So Job 37 says the sun is in the midst of the clouds. That's the way it looks to me. I don't see a light source. Well, what I say is you can look at my YouTube channel, Truth, hashtag it if you like. Got many occurrences of the sun appearing right in the midst of the clouds, as scripture says. Earlier today I shot the moon at moonset, right before that from our home about 7 miles away. Now to me, from what I can see, it looks like there are clouds behind the sun. That's how it looks to me. I know the sun is hot. I know it evaporates water. There's my friend Linda there. She takes a lot of photos out here, walks on the beach a lot. Ready to begin as soon as the ship arrives with the sand. Thanks, Linda. You too. the buoyancy, B-U-O-Y-A-N-C-Y, is what is the reality of why heavier falls and lighter floats. Buoyancy, you can hashtag it if you like. What they'll do is pump the water out of the line, that submerged line, they'll fill it with air, it'll float. With the tide coming in the way it is, I don't know that it's going to actually be able to move. I don't know that they're going to need to anchor it with a piece of equipment, but if they do, all they would do is bring a wheeled articulated loader over here, one of the cats, like this right here, and stop it from moving. They'll just put tension on it. So this right here is a float. They'll move the pipe around with that as well. Now I've had the camera here in the same exact, well actually when I started recording the sunrise, I was about 15 feet to the right in the, I'll show you. I was right over there. And I did that because I wanted to see the sun appearing, which I was able to capture. I believe we live in a computer-programmed reality. There's a lot of augmented input or modified computer graphic imagery. Movies, theater. It doesn't just stop at dinner and a movie. It's coming through as official news releases. Quite often are fabricated events or events that are selected for a variety of reasons. They can be actual events that occur, but the backstory is that some of those events were created, forced to happen. Tragic events like the drugging of humanity with pharmaceuticals and opioids, legal and illegal drugs. When they're drugging humanity, by the way, sodium fluoride in the water is going to dull the comprehension and mental aptitude and ability. Vaccines cause harm. In many cases, that's been proven to occur. So when people's senses are dulled by alcohol, drugs, and environmental contaminants, and more, also the artificial intelligence has the ability and does release frequencies in our surroundings, as in Wi-Fi, electricity, now 5G in some areas will have a powerful effect on people's perception of this life in this world. Can freak people out. One of the examples that I'm going to give you is Desert Storm, when the Republican Guard hardened soldiers were surrendering en masse. That whole event around that, they weaponize the frequencies. 5G is a frequency weapon, just so you know. The Terminator, Skynet, and DARPA, CIA, all of these agencies that are tracking, tracing, databasing, threat assessing, and distributing information that people will make choices on. Intel. If the intel is inaccurate, how then there's going to be problems. I've been right on the beach here, and right on this same level, and I've had a variety of estimated elevations from 20 feet below sea level to 50 feet above sea level with my feet on the sand right here next to the pier up there. And the reason why I bring that up is all those answers didn't change. The elevation did not change. I was at the same location. The weather is being modified. You got evidence of that. Hashtag Weather Wars. You can see it. You got videos of that. I will continue to share videos that back up what I'm talking about. High frequency trading in the stock market crashes, events like 9/11, and the tech bubble of 2000, Y2K, all fabricated events, all fabricated to create and evoke a response from humanity. Move a lot of tech stocks, a lot of technology, and implement a lot of hardware. So for example, there could have been, and there was, a lot of implementation of electrical power grid handling systems around Y2K. We were told that the grid could potentially go down because of technology that was in place that needed to be replaced. Take a look at the light spectrum difference, the hot spot below the cloud there, below the sun, I mean. It appears to be a much closer proximity. Show you the numbers for the tides. I use the Tides Near Me app. I'm going to refresh it right now. The flood that NOAA prepared for covered over the tops of all the mountains. I've got a documentary showing the location in the mountains of Ararat, the archaeological evidence of, in fact, the Ark that contained in the archaeological find. There is metallurgical evidence, results of titanium and aluminum, non-naturally occurring metals. They had to be forged, they had to be created. They're alloys, metal alloys. Now, according to scripture, there is a firmament above the face of the earth, a dome, a structure, whether you like it or not. That's what scripture says, and I believe that to be accurate. And when God opened up the floodgates of heaven, a lot of water was sent through. Also, he opened up the fountains of the deep and caused it to start raining. So we had multiple water sources occurring. Some people will say, you know, it would take too long for rain to cover the face of the earth that high. Well, floodgates and fountains and rain, that got the job done pretty fast. You can look at the Tides Near Me and look all around the world and see the tidal activity if you care to. I've been able to confirm the accuracy of the estimates here. That's the Myrtle Beach skyline. We can't see through much water. Some days I'll see it real crystal clear, where right now I can't because of the moisture. There have been reports of rogue waves out in the open ocean over 100 feet tall. They've been confirmed on offshore oil rigs. Got videos of that. The video where PewDiePie is making fun of me shows, I believe, one of the largest waves ever recorded on a ship. It was massive. Some ships are vanishing off of radar, off of observation, without any mayday call. Apparently rogue waves. I know there's pirates out there too. There were pirates in these waters as well. This is Robert Porsche. Thank you so much for your public and private encouragement. Call anytime.